I am going to say the unpopular thing, and I know a lot of weight loss coaches are going to disagree with me. And that is the all or nothing mindset. It may actually work in your favor to help you lose weight, and especially if you are a type A perfectionist. Your brain probably just got whiplash because every therapist and weight loss coach has told you that the all or nothing thinking is toxic. But if moderation and intuitive eating actually worked, you wouldn't be tuning into this episode right now. These approaches, they're not wrong for everyone, but they might be wrong for you. I'm Holly Bertone. After 4 nutrition certifications did not work to help me lose weight, I used the elite level pattern recognition skills from my days in FBI counterintelligence to finally create sustainable weight loss for myself, and I've helped hundreds of women do the same. And this all or nothing approach, this is how I personally got through my plateaus. And it's also how many of my clients are also seeing just phenomenal results. But it's important to understand that this conversation is a lot more nuanced. So in today's episode, we're going to get into who the all or nothing mindset actually works for, why it works, how long you should do this, and the cautionary tale to be aware of. First, who does this work for? There are 2 types of women that the all or nothing approach works best for. The first personality type is the overachiever, the perfectionist, the type A personality, the honor student, the first chair musician, the captain of the sports team. You're the kind of woman who says, I understand the assignment, get out of my way. I've got this. And you know who you are. The second personality type is the rule follower. You thrive in routine and order, and you are completely allergic to chaos. You live by this code that you plan for the plan, and you don't understand why other people can't follow the plan. You alphabetize your spices, and you're actually going to add something to your to-do list after you complete it, even if it wasn't on the list, just so it's on the list, just so you can cross it off. You know who you are. Why does this work for you? Contrast creates clarity. So first, let's identify what hasn't worked for you in the past. Because you've tried mindful eating, you've tried intuitive eating, you've tried to eat slow, you've tried to eat intentionally, you've tried everything in moderation, you've tried just one bite, you've tried eating healthy in the 80-20 rule. You have tried it all, but nothing has worked. And here's why. It's because our brain operates in predictive patterns. Half of the patterns are how our brain is hardwired based on how we as humans have operated for centuries. The other half of these predictive patterns, they are soft coded based on the lived experiences of our entire lives. We all have these patterns, and we have this pattern specifically of negotiation in our brain. Our brain is the toddler who is negotiating for you to buy the toy at Target and then take them out for ice cream. Our brain is the teenager who's negotiating for 1 more hour before bedtime or 1 more hour before curfew. When we give our brain an inch, our brain is going to take the entire mile. So every time you tell yourself you're going to eat slow, or you're going to eat mindfully, or eat in moderation, you are still negotiating with yourself to eat the thing. And these moderation modalities, basically all they have trained you to is to negotiate first and then to actually eat the thing. And because you continue to eat the thing and then you continue to eat more things, this is one of the biggest reasons why you've put on weight in the first place and why you can't take it off. The other thing to consider is that many of my clients are lifelong emotional eaters. So one bite, they can say everything in moderation. They can say, I'm going to eat intuitively, but they take one bite of the treat and it just opens up Pandora's box and they devour everything in sight. Like their brain cannot turn it off. And I was that person too. So what worked for me and what has worked extremely well for my fellow high achievers and for my fellow rule followers is this all or nothing approach. And this is when you make a commitment to yourself for the next 30 days. no sugar, or for the next 60 days, no alcohol, or for the next 45 days, no processed food or no fast food. It is a very specific timeline and a very specific thing or things. When you give your brain this assignment, your brain goes to work. Your brain understands the mission and your brain is going to execute. These are the bumpers. You know how you go bowling and for the little kids, they put the bumpers down so it doesn't go in the gutters? You have set up these bumpers in your brain. So when someone offers you their homemade cookies, or when it's the birthday day at the office and they're passing around the Costco sheet cake, or when you're out to dinner and the family and friends and the dessert tray comes out, you are going to be a lot more convicted that your no thank you actually means no thank you. There's no open door for the negotiation. And this is how the rewiring process actually works. Your brain understands that this is what we are doing. Your brain is going to fight for you to stay in integrity with yourself because your brain has that assignment. Not to mention, every decision your brain doesn't have to make, you've now reduced that decision fatigue. By the way, if you're getting value out of this video, be sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. Now, how long should you actually do this? If I were to tell you that this is something you're going to do for an entire year, your brain is going to rebel. Your brain's going to be like, no, because a year feels like too long. So give yourself a time frame that feels challenging and achievable. And a good place to start is something like 30 days or 45 days or 60 days. And I want you to think of this like training wheels, because the goal is to develop the confidence and the skill so that you can do this on your own. And at the end of that time, you can always reevaluate. You can always add another 30 days or 60 days. The goal here is just to get you started. When I was going through my emotional eating and weight loss journey, I cut out sugar and ice cream for 2 years. 2 years. And it was never supposed to be 2 years. I just said to myself, I'm cutting it all out because I need to be in a better headspace around food, because I was that woman. I'd open up a pint of ice cream, take one bite, savor it, and the next thing I know, the entire pint was gone, plus, probably another pint. So at that time, I just knew that I had to figure it out, and I didn't give myself that time frame. But when my clients do this, I do encourage them to put a time frame on it, and that time frame has been extremely helpful for them, because then at the end, they can reevaluate that window. They can reevaluate what that looks like. But here's what's interesting. This is kind of cool. The way that they talk to me during that time that they are locked in, when they are in the middle of that, 30 days or 45 days, 60 days, when they're in the middle of that challenge and when they are locked in, it is like night and day compared to how they talk to me before they did this. Because when they're at the beginning of their journey, they negotiate everything because they want the change, they want the result, but they also want to keep the old food and the old habits and the old routines. They want both. They want it all. But if you want to change, you can't have it all, at least right now. This is when your brain is going to negotiate the hardest, because your brain wants to keep the old food, the old routines, the old habits, because your brain likes that and it's comfortable. It's like your brain's comfort blanket. But in contrast, when my clients, when they are locked in with this all or nothing approach, they have so much conviction and they show up from this place of, this is who I am. This is what I do. And it is such a huge difference, because it's the difference between negotiating your way to failure and actually starting to see success. But this does come with a cautionary tale, because the all or nothing approach is not identity work. It looks like identity work. It is going to help you get there, but it is not the actual identity work that you need to do. Okay, let me explain. If if you were to offer someone who does not smoke, who has never smoked, if you were to offer them a cigarette, they're going to say no, thank you 1000% of the time without a second thought, because not smoking is so much a part of who they are. They don't even think about it. They don't wake up every single day convincing themselves they're not going to smoke. And that is the kind of conviction that I am talking about when I say identity work. And when you're starting out on your weight loss journey, that future healthy woman identity, she is not ingrained in you yet. So the cautionary tale is that your brain, yes, your brain is locked into this all or nothing, but your brain still knows that you still have an exit ramp when it's over. So during this time, you also need to be doing the identity work. You need to create safety in your body so that you can lose weight. You need to become the woman who is that healthy weight woman instead of the fat woman who has to go on a diet every other week. And you need to develop these behaviors and habits and actions that match that identity. And that level of identity work, it takes a lot longer than the 30 days or the 45 days. So when you do this, make sure you have a plan at the end. And that plan should also continue for another set period of time. What does this look like for some of the ladies who are building their sustainable weight loss machine, which is my brand new Back to Basics weight loss program? One woman is doing no sugar for 30 days and she lost 4 pounds in her first 2 weeks. One woman was walking every single day for 37 days, and a month after that ended, she extended and she's still walking every single day. She has gone from walking 1 mile in 30 minutes to now almost 2 miles in almost 30 minutes. One woman is working through an elimination diet to figure out what foods are inflammatory, and she has lost 19 pounds in 2 months. This is your CSI Red Yarn moment. Because do you think if weight loss was just about calorie in, calorie out, that it is going to be easy and effortless to sustain this for the rest of your life? Or do you think if you learned how to eliminate that negotiation in your head, that you might actually get this to stick? I am not going to hand you a meal plan. I'm not going to tell you to track your calories. My goal is I help you create the systems so that you can embrace what is best for your life, not anyone else's and not mine, your life. Because this isn't just about losing weight. It's about creating a life where you can do this forever, where you can do this when it's predictable and effortless, and when you can do this even on your worst day and even on your most chaotic day. This is exactly why I created the Sustainable Weight Loss Machine. It is a back to basics program designed to help you build those new actions and patterns and habits one step at a time. And I'll leave a link in the show notes for you to check it out. So thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Holly Bertone, and this is Weight Loss Forensics.